What's up? This is Patrick of Radicards.com, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 sports card pickups of 2022. I hope you like it. So to heat up the list, let's start off with some honorable mentions. We'll jump right in with 3 of them, and then we'll kick off the top 10 list. Let's start it off with 1991 Chris Hoyle's the white inner frame variation. So this was caught pretty early in the print run, and Topps fixed it by changing the inner frame from white to black. So the black is the very common variety. The white is the highly uncommon variety. So I picked up a couple of these this year, one raw one. And when I got it, I noticed there was a condition flaw. So I was like, well, it's not good enough for me. So I kept it, but I wanted another one. So I found an 8. So this was plenty fine. These are hard to grade high. They're rare enough as they are standalones. And so just getting anyone that's even like a near mint is kind of tough to do. But really great card. I'm glad to have this. I've been after this card for a while, some amount of years. And it just had not been on a priority. And I just figured this year was as good a year as any to get it. Pretty affordable. They're still pretty cheap, considerably comparable to other things. They're still considered very affordable if you can find them. They pop up here and there. They're available if you wanted to get one into your collection. They're not insanely rare, but they are much harder to find than the corrected variety. So I'm really glad to get this. This is the 1991 Topps white inner frame variety of the Chris Hoyles. All right, next up is the 1996 Metal Universe Platinum Derek Jeter in a PSA 9. Now, I've wanted this card in this grade for a while, and I admittedly bought this card at the end of the COVID spike, so I paid a little bit more than the current market averages for this card. But, I mean, whatever, it wasn't that much more. But it was noticeably different. And it was just because everybody and their mother was collecting sports cards for like 18 months during that time. And so everything went up in value for a short time. It went straight up through the roof and then bam, right into the freaking basement. So people lost a lot of money when they bought toward the end. And whatever, nobody can predict the future. Nobody has prognosticatory abilities, despite what all the sports card investment type people say. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And that's okay. I think a lot of those guys did pretty well producing content, and good for them. I'm happy for them. But admittedly, I did overpay for this card compared to what they're selling for now. Anyway, I'm glad to have this card. This is a good one to have. It's scanned really well. It's very beautiful. And awesome stuff. You know, the Metal Universe stuff that Skybox was producing in the mid to late 90s kind of mimicked intentionally the Marvel Universe stuff that was popular during the same era. So they wanted to just ride that wave out a bit. And PMGs were found in the initial sets for football and basketball, but the first baseball set didn't get them. We didn't get PMGs until 1998. And so we had 2 years of PMG-free issues, and that's okay with me. It's less work for me. And I actually really like these Platinum Medallions from 96. They were one a pack, so they were easy buys, easy pulls. Kind of a fun set to put together. Just a cool set. Great roster, obviously, all the classic guys from 96. So this card is a rookie year Derek Jeter card, but not a rookie card. Obviously, Holland's rookie cards show up in 1993. In 1996, he logged enough career credentials to be qualified as a rookie. So it took some years. There you have it. This is the 1996 Metal Universe Platinum Derek Jeter in a PSA 9. Awesome. Next on the list here, this is the 2009 Topps Chrome Red Refractor /25 Mark Sanchez rookie card. He was a big rookie in 09 and 10, and I was highly prospected and highly collected. This card back then would have been a huge card. I'd been chasing this card for a couple of years and finally came across a seller who was willing to part with it for a pretty reasonable price. So he and I worked a deal. I was happy to get this. And he actually commented on it when he sold it to me. He's like, yeah, this is a big card some years back, like back in, when he was playing. I was like, yeah, totally. I'm super happy to have it. Obviously, it's just going straight to my collection, museum. No intention of reselling it because I don't think I'll get my money back anyway. I just think this is a cool item to have for its historical significance. So there you have it. This is the 2009 Topps Chrome Red Refractor /25 Mark Sanchez rookie card. So that completes my honorable mentions. Let's dive right into the top 10 list of 2022. First on the list here, this is the 1998 Score Showcase Artist Proof 1 of 1 Ryan Leaf. This card is awesome. Now, A note about this card, the one of ones from football, the pattern in the background looks a little bit different than the one of ones of the same card from baseball. The football had this like sparkle finish prism thing, and then the baseball has this like wave prism finish thing. They're both very attractive, but they're differentiated in that way. And I think Score Pinnacle, essentially Pinnacle did that. They differentiated the products across the sports a little bit to make them more unique per sport, which I thought was bright, very smart. And so really glad to get this. Now, the way this happened, the seller listed it, and I was the only intentional bidder. Like seconds before it ended, it was canceled. And I sent the seller a message. I was like, hey, I'm still interested in this card. Will you be relisting it? Is it still available? And I didn't get any response. And a few weeks later, it was relisted at half the price. And I was the only bidder, and I won it. This card's great, but it's got a serious condition flaw on the back. There's a crease that goes down almost a quarter of the card from the y-axis to the x-axis. I'm okay with that. Luckily, you can't see it on the front of the card unless you tilt it against the light. You'll see the indentation. But this card is not a perfect card because of that crease. It would probably grade out a 5, maybe a 4. But I wouldn't, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. It's still an awesome card. I'm glad to have it. And it's a great representation of Mr. Ryan Leaf. Really glad to get this in the collection. It's just an awesome, awesome card to have. This is the 1998 Score Showcase Artist Proof 1 of 1 Ryan Leaf. All right, next on this list, this is the 2009 Topps Triple Threads White Whale Printing Plate Rick Porcello. So he's in the set 3 times as a 1 of 1. There's a platinum, a wood, and this here white whale. So last year, I featured the platinum and wood versions of these cards, and so when I saw the white whale, I was like, well, I got to get that. That's the third 1 of 1 for Porcello. This is the last of the 1 of 1, so I have all 3 of them, which is kind of a cool thing. I don't know if I'll be able to do this again with any other player. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time for the Porcello cards, and I was really had to get the one. I will say this. The wood was the most expensive one. I think the wood is the most popular of the 1 of 1 parallels. In any case, there's never any linear selling, and like you're never going to pay exactly for the different 1 of 1s, no matter what player or whatever, like across the board, because there will always be some differences of desirability across the different styles of 1 of 1s. Love this though. Really like that it's slabbed and it looks good in a PSA case, and I'm glad that I have it all together next to the other 2 1 of 1s on the museum. It just looks really cool. Presently, they're on the museum. I predict they'll stay there, but I've become more rigorous with my qualifications for what gets out of the museum. So I pulled a lot of stuff off recently, and then kind of like maintained a very high quality output on that site so that I can look at every card and be like, yes, every single card is amazing. And presently this exists on the museum, and I'm happy that it does. So this is the 2009 Topps Triple Threads White Whale Printing Plate Rick Porcello 1 of 1. All right, so this is cool. I like this. This is 2014 Bowman Chrome Rookie Autographs Black Static Refractor to 15. This is my second Oscar Taveras card. The first one was a Bowman Chrome Red Refractor to 5, I think it was. I think it was Bowman Chrome. Really cool card, not autographed. But this one, I was like, when I saw this, man, this card is really incredible. It's scanned pretty well, but in hand, it's even better looking. That like textured background is just really nice. This is a really nice card. And so I was really happy to get this. You know, we lost Oscar Taveras early in his career. We didn't get to see his full potential, unfortunately. We lost a few guys over the last 10 years, and for various reasons, really sad. So we never got to see Oscar Taveras really reach his full potential in baseball. And so I remember him by like appreciating his baseball cards and try to do my part and for memories for certain players. And this is one of those players. Really would have liked to see longer lifespan of Mr. Oscar Taveras, but it's just a sad fact. So, but I really like this card. It presents beautifully in hand. It's absolutely gorgeous. Really happy to get this card in the collection this year. This is the 2014 Bowman Chrome Rookie Autographs Black Static Refractor to 15 Oscar Taveras rookie card. Our next on the list, this is the 2011 Finest Rookie Autographs Die Cut D. Gordon, the serial number to 10. These cards are so cool. They have the 96 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor box matrix prism thing. I just think these are really awesome. Now, from what I know, Topps started doing this in 1994 in a football set called, I think it was Measures of Greatness, and their standards like a subset at the end of the 94 Topps set for football. But then they incorporated it more robustly in 96 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractors for baseball, and they've kind of repurposed it over the years. Really awesome stuff. I'm a huge fan of this set. The roster in this set is really amazing. You got Mike Trout, Mark Trumbo, Michael Pineda, obviously D. Gordon, and some other fellas. So just it's a great run. You've got non-autoed versions and autographed versions, and so there's a lot to chase. And that's just this run, and everybody is numbered to 10. So these are just so cool. I just think these are so rad. The gradient to autograph is just such a nice design. That like die cut with the box matrix, the RC logo. It's got everything. Such a cool card. And they scan really well, as you can tell. I always liked D. Gordon. He was very fast, good base stealer. He's the son of Tom Gordon, a.k.a. Flash Gordon, who had a pretty lengthy career and started out with the Kansas City Royals in 1989. So D. Gordon comes from a family of baseball players, which is awesome. And I'm glad to get this in the collection. I was really happy to get this. This is the 2011 Finest Rookie Autographs die cut to 10, D. Gordon. All right, next on the list, this is the 2018 Topps Chrome Superfractor, Steven Strasburg. I got this year because I wanted it to go with its buddy that I got in 2018, the Sapphire variety of the same card. Now, the difference between these two is obviously the card number, but then the Topps Chrome logo in the top part of the card are on opposite sides of the card. Now, I've seen the Jack Flaherty of the same variety, like the two side-by-side, the Topps Chrome and the Topps Chrome Sapphire. And the Sapphire was a little bit shinier, very subtle difference, but it's a little bit shinier. Now, I couldn't see that difference in these two cards when I had them in hand side by side. I tried to identify it, but I just couldn't do it. So I don't know if it's a across the board difference or if it's just some cards that is a production variance thing. I don't really know if it was intentional or what, but I always wanted to know like what's the difference. You know, because noticing the Topps Chrome logo isn't so obvious unless you have them side by side. You'd essentially be looking at the same card without that little notice, that difference. And the card number, obviously, you have to flip it over and say, oh, the card number is different. These are great cards to have. Obviously, because I picked up the Sapphire in 2018, I had to get the Topps Chrome in 2022 when it came up. Because it was like, well, I got to get that one and get it next to its buddy. So really glad to get this. This is the 2018 Topps Chrome Superfractor Steven Strasburg. Our next on the list here, this was like one of my first purchases of 2022, and it sat on my desk for like a couple months before I scanned it in. I had a pretty sizable critical mass pile going when I finally got this scanned in for the museum. This is the 2010 Bowman Chrome Red Refractor to 5, Josh Donaldson. I'm really happy to get this. Now, this guy wasn't really anything in 2010. It took some years for him to come up and be noticed. So this, when I pulled the Superfractor from the prospects run of this player, he was a nobody. And so I just kind of hung on to it. I still have it. I had it graded. It's on the museum. You can see it there, but I really like this card. It's great. This is an awesome photo of Mr. Josh Donaldson. Now, he's a card collector. He's made some appearances on some hobby videos over the years. I think it's cool that he collects cards. Some guys do. I think it's really awesome. But I was really glad to get this in the collection. It's, I would say, quite a bit cheaper than it was, say, I don't know, even 5-6 years ago. His stuff was at one point very difficult to get cheap. So I'm glad to see that he came up and I pulled a good card back in 2010. Such a cool thing. So there you have it. This is the 2010 Bowman Chrome Red Refractor to 5 Josh Donaldson rookie card. All right, so this is the 1999 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor to 100 CC Sabathia rookie card. Now Sabathia, he has his rookie cards in 99 in a variety of different Bowman products. And he shows up in some stuff in 2000, and in 2001 is when he had his legitimate first rookie year in baseball. So that his 2001 stuff is his rookie year stuff, but his 1999 is his rookie card stuff. Distinguishable difference. Really great stuff for Sabathia. I remember in 2012 going to the National with some friends, and we had the scavenger hunt going, and one of the light items was find the heaviest player. And I found a 2007 Bowman Chrome CC Sabathia, and he was the heaviest player. He got thickened up around the waist toward the mid 2000s. He's quite heavy, but I grabbed that, and I've had that all these years. And I recently made a player section for CC Sabathia, and obviously I grabbed that and put it in there. So I have this. It's kind of a fun thing. So I'm chasing a few of his cards, a few pieces. This was up there. I was really glad to get it. I like this card. I like the set. I like the player. And I hope that he makes the Hall of Fame. I'm rooting for him. I hope he does. He had a long career, very productive career. So it's a very good pitcher for a long, long time. This is the 1999 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor to 100 CC Sabathia rookie card. All right, next on the list, this is the 1998 Crown Royal Firestone on baseball, autographed by Roy Firestone. He autographed 8 copies of every card in the set, except for the last card that features he and Tony Gwynn. They're like portrait shots next to each other. It's a horizontal card. He signed 300 of those, so those are available. Those are quite a bit cheaper because of the print run on those, but this is one of the ones that's to 8, so it's kind of cool. Obviously not signed by the player, but Royce Firestone. He's a very significant, well-known businessman. Kind of a cool thing. I like the stamp, the gold foil stamps on these. Kind of a fun thing. Kind of a cool set. I always liked Pacific. I always think they did a great job with all their products. They were very ahead of their time. I feel like some companies took them 10 more years to catch up to the designs and the quality of products that Pacific released. But I also know they have a very segmented collector base. Like either you hate them or you love them. I happen to be on the latter. I love Pacific. I always have. Just think they did a great job with their products. And I'm happy to get this. And I've always been a Tony Gwynn fan, just all the time. I always said if I wasn't collecting Frank Thomas, I'd probably be collecting Tony Gwynn. And there are other guys I like Mo Vaughn, Tim Salmon, Joe Carter. I love those guys too, and a bunch of other guys. But if I was to PC somebody and it would be at the caliber of player, it would be Tony Gwynn. And if I was to PC someone who was more affordable and maybe not in interesting sets, it would be one of the other 3 guys I just mentioned. But really big fan of Tony Gwynn. Awesome player, great hitter. This is the 1998 Crown Royal Firestone on baseball, autographed with a print run of 8. All right, next on the list here, this is the 1998 Score Rookie Traded Showcase Series Artist Proof 1 of 1, Travis Lee. Man, talk about a mouthful. That's a lot of words. Great card. Obviously, we talked about the Ryan Leaf earlier. Different pattern on that card. It's kind of a sparkle finish. This one has a wave prism thing going for it. Awesome, awesome card. Now, Travis Lee was found in initially 1997 Bowman and some top stuff, and those are rookie cards. But in 1998, he was considered a rookie year player. So his rookie year cards were in 1998. And so he's credited for having the first hit for the Arizona Diamondbacks Stadium. So that's kind of a cool thing. He played first base, a really amazing left-handed swing. I've always liked his smile, just a good-looking dude. And I followed his career right before I exited the hobby back in 98 for a short time. And he was one of my last memories before I left. I always liked Travis Lee. Good dude, awesome guy. Great. I thought he was a good player. Obviously, he was not as superstar power, but I always liked the look of his style, and I think he was a great first baseman. This one here, the guy listed it, and he had it listed for a long time, and I watched it for a long time, and the guy had a bunch of these 1 of 1s. And so when I saw it, I just watched it. I kept it on my watch list for so long. I think it was myself and one other person was watching it. And I was like, I should probably try to get this. Because if it sells, I'm going to be kicking myself for it. So let's see if we can negotiate. The seller and I negotiated and we worked a deal. And I was surprised by how many different ones of these he had. He had a kind of a glutton of them. And I've cherry-picked a few over the years of different players, and then I kind of tabled the focus on getting any more because it's just too ambitious to think that you're going to put this set together. It's not going to happen. So I just was like, well, I'll be a little bit more lenient with the stuff I buy in this set because although I have a few of them, I don't ever think I'm going to make any dent in the set. It's not realistic, but I do love these. They are fantastic. I love them very much. This is the 1998 Score Rookie Traded Showcase Series Artist Proof 1 of 1, Travis Lee. All right, number 1 card this year for non-Thomas stuff. This is the 2010 Bowman Platinum Relic Autograph Superfractor 1 of 1, Jason Hayward rookie card. Amazing card. Love this. So cool. I wish my scanner picked this card up a little bit better. I had to bring it back into Photoshop and brighten it up a bit. Kind of a dark scan. There are other scanners that can produce better versions, and I may get an additional scanner just for cards like this later, but right now what I have is perfectly fine. So, interesting thing about the museum, when I upgraded my quality restrictions, I had two versions of this card, the base version of it on the museum, and they were slightly different sized. I don't know why that is, but one of them fit into one touch and one of them it just didn't, and so I had to put it in a card saver, and I never really liked that. Two cards side by side, same card. They don't have this, they're not prepared the same way. It's just odd, it's kind of weird. So when I got this, it replaced both of those because one of the new requirements that I have, it's got to be the best parallel that I have of something. And so this one gets in there. There are certain exceptions like Flair Showcase, Topps Gold Label. When the three different classes or rows, they're just essentially different cards. So those stay on the site. And so there are some minor exceptions, but overall I try to get the best parallel I can of any one card. And this one obviously made the cut because it's the one of one, biggest card ever. So really happy to get this. This card in 2010 would have been worth many thousands of dollars. These days, it's obviously not anywhere near that, but super, super cool card to have in my collection. I'm glad I think it necessitated the number one spot. Now, I did pick up another Hayward one of one that was, in fact, slightly more than this one from the price point perspective, but it wasn't a rookie card. It was just a really high grade second year card. And I was like, well, it's kind of a toss-up. Like, which one do I add in? Obviously, this one's more significant because it's the rookie card, which is why I chose this one over the 2011 card. But they're both great, and they're both on the museum. If you want to go check it out, you can see them there. Anyway, really like this. This is an awesome one. Close out to my 2022 top 10 list. I hope you enjoyed that. This is the 2010 Bowman Platinum Relic Autograph Superfractor 1 of 1 Jason Hayward rookie card. So you have it. That's my top 10 lists for non-Frank Thomas baseball cards, sports cards, just a general list for 2022. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments if you have any in the comments area. I'd like to hear what you think. If there's only one card you liked or a couple cards or whatever, would love to hear your comments. Please share them. Thank you for tuning into Radicards TV on Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Reno, and until next time, enjoy collecting. If you like this content, please subscribe. Thanks. Enjoy collecting.